What's up, guys? Mr. Knows Hoops back today with another episode. And today, guys, we are on a new installment of the Rebuild Report. Guys, as always, these Rebuild Reports is always sort of about trying to show these teams that are sort of trying to figure it out, get it back together, and really start to be able to ascend the rankings. And today we are talking about the Brooklyn Nets, who are 20-28, 16th in offense, 18th in defense. Honestly, this team is very mid at best. But before getting into why, and before getting into anything more, thank you guys for all your love and support in the last video. It meant the world to me, to be honest. Like, it felt really good. We hit 600 subs. We're almost up to 625, so I really want to hit 650 to 675, even 700 by the end of this month. I know we can do it. So don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord. We're streaming games in there all the time. Me and my buddy Dream Hoops, who's also a YouTuber. I'm telling you guys, this is incredible. So thank you all for your love and support. Let's get into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is Spencer Dinwiddie. Now, is he everything wrong with this team? No. But he exemplifies something that I think this team should have considered doing a while ago. So let's get right into it. So Spencer Dinwiddie's averaging 13, 3, and 6 on 39 from the field, 33 from 3, and 78 from the line. So let's go ahead and see what Spencer Dinwiddie's offering, right? So here's going to get the pick and roll action, right, with Claxton. First of all, that's a tough pass, right? That's a tough make from Claxton as well. But that's a good read, right? A good use of the pick and roll. Very, very strong, right? Now, Dinwiddie's going to get the ball here, pushing in transition. Starts to slow down a little. Beautiful pass, right? Because Şengün waits, right? Şengün sort of stops here, turned his back, and when he turned his back, boom, wide open opportunity, right? Huge. But then Dinwiddie's will have plays like this, right? Gets Claxton here on the slips, right? Spins around from Mikal, sort of just standing there, and basically just gives the ball away. Just dribbled the clock off, and there's nothing you can do. And again, this is not me saying Spencer Dinwiddie is the reason that this team is not in the play-in or not in whatever tier. The issue with this team, and we'll get into it in a minute, is that there's a lot of guys on this team that they should have already moved on from. Not just because they're not necessarily performing incredibly, or because Brooklyn, it's time to be honest. You're in a rebuild. Stop acting like you aren't. So let's go ahead and keep going, right? So then you have Spencer Dinwiddie, right, as a scorer. Bridges is going to get the ball here. Dinwiddie, right, pumps, gives it out, right? You see Cam Thomas get the ball out. Boom. Shots like that, like, okay, am I necessarily mad? No, but it's like, God, when you have so many of these sort of looks, you kind of understand why this team is 16th in offense. It's just so stagnant. It's so stale, right? But then he'll have moments like this, too, where it's like, why are these the shots you're taking, right? He's going in, he drives, and it's basically just Fontecchio and him one-on-one, and I don't know what compelled you to make this read when you're up 15. Like, you're not in a desperate situation. You're not down a lot. So before going any further, what was the point of showing all that from Spencer Dinwiddie? First of all, it's to show that I don't necessarily think he's an awful player, right? I showed you he's got some solid passing playmaking. The scoring, I don't know what the hell's happening. I'm just going to be honest with you. Got 39% from the field and 33 from 3. And these aren't on low attempts either, guys. Like, this isn't like, oh, he's not getting a lot of shots, and when he does, they're grenades, and no. He gets shots. They're just not good, and he can't make not good shots. To me, Spencer Dinwiddie embodies the refusal to acknowledge a rebuild. Spencer Dinwiddie, you have Dorian Finney-Smith, you still have, oh my goodness, I'm blanking now, but I mean, you're stuck with Ben Simmons now, right? You've got these veteran pieces. Oh, Royce O'Neal. And by the way, this is not me saying those players are all performing necessarily statistically as poor as Dinwiddie. But all I'm saying is These are players I would guarantee you could get a young piece from a contender from, or get some pick compensation or something in return. And they're just sitting here on their hands and knees and doing nothing. That to me makes no sense. Okay, let's move on to the second part about this rebuild report. Mikal Bridges. Okay? So he's averaging 22, 5, and 4 on 46 from the field, 37 from 3 on about like 7 attempts, which is really good. 82 from the line with 1.3 steals and blocks or stocks. Mikal, to me, I made a video on him before, actually performed really well. I've talked about, I think this shows, first, Mikal is not a number one option, which is perfectly fine. Not every dude in the league has to be. But to me, these moments have helped show that he could either be a very good number 2, or at worst, a incredible third option that you would kill to have on your team. Okay. So let's get into it, right? We already know Mikal defensively, so I'm not even going to waste your guys' time watching that film, right? Talk about him as a scorer, right? Boom. Kicks it out to Cam Johnson, right? Gets the ball right back, right? OG sort of has to bite here on the possible steal attempt, which I get, right? Get to Brunson one-on-one, steps away, little fader, boom. Tough shot, right? He's someone, I don't even necessarily love taking tough shots, but at least I sit there and I'm like, there's a chance that he can make some nonsense, right? And you see him trying to run this pin and just not a good rationale. I get it, right? Part of it is too, he's stuck in the paint. So you're going to try and get a little something going. Not the best, look in the world, right? Now he gets an off-ball screen here. Right? Going to run the possible stagger screen. So now Brunson's sort of stuck here behind this screen. And that's a tough finish from Mikal, right? So that's good. And Mikal's showing me flashes of improvement as a passer playmaker. Again, not an incredible one. Not even necessarily a, very good one. But that's a nice pass to Cam Thomas, right? It's just those little reads. And then there's another one coming up here. So they're going to get the board, right? You're going to see Royce get the ball, kicks it back out. Mikal gets the ball here again, right? Because he's left relatively open. Goes and attacks here, right? At this point, the man sinks. Boom. Corner shot. What does Mikal Bridges have to do with this video? To be 100% honest with you guys, if I'm the Brooklyn Nets organization, he's 27. I do not believe his trade value could get much higher. He hasn't dropped off from last year when he was scorching hot. Trade him, please, bro. I'm not even a Nets fan. I hold zero attachment to this team. I love Mikal Bridges. He's really grown on me, especially since he's gone to Brooklyn. But guys, I remember last season when there was a report the Grizzlies were willing to give up 2 to 3 first-round picks for this man, and they said no. I'm sorry. Unless you're some super-duper star, I'm talking Jokic, Giannis, Embiid, Luka, Steph. Unless you're a dude like that, you're giving up 3 first round. See ya. Yup. You're moving. Because that is how you make up for the capital that you willy-nilly gave away to get Ben Simmons. You got KD, Kyrie, James Harden. And you're, at this point, cash in. Some team is going to want a wing that is very good on 3 and D. You're telling me, I don't even necessarily know the best example, but Philly wouldn't give up 2 firsts or something, and maybe a Tobias Harris or you know what I'm saying? You're telling me there's not a team that would bite? I don't believe that. So to me, they got to trade him while his value's still up. Not that he's been playing bad at all. Very good player. But there's a lot of tradable pieces. And we'll get into a little bit more at the very end. Finally, we're going to talk about the young future. Nicholas Claxton and Cam Thomas. Am I saying that these dudes are the cornerstones of the franchise. No. But at least with them, Claxton, I believe, is 24 and Cam Thomas is 22. With them, I get a semblance of an idea of what this team is meant to be. Right? Okay. So let's get into it. Nick Claxton is giving you 22, 11, and 2. On 64 from the field, 33 from 3, but you can ignore it. I mean, it's on like 0.1 threes a game. And 56 from the line with 2.9 stocks. Okay. So let's look at Nicholas Claxton and what he's been providing, right? Incredible lob threat. Incredible. First of all, this read here that we're about to see, that's a nice pass, right? Gets the ball back around, waits for the man to jump over. Tough finish at the rim and one. Moments like this, right, show you that rim threat is going to be very nice for a team like this. Look at that. Like, it's just sheer athleticism and power, right? And again, so Claxton here, right, they're going to start pushing in transition. And he's going to go start trying to make up the ground. Scoot's going to attack. Boom. It's just so explosive when he attacks. And then Cam Thomas, 22, 3 and 2 on 45 from the field. 36 from 3 and 83 from the line. Which if we just did the numbers game, right, which is a little disingenuous, the man's numbers are nearly identical to Mikal Bridges. Just sheer production. To me, Mikal as a player is leagues and bounds better just because of what he brings on the other end of the floor. And even just passing playmaking. But man. So let's get into that, right? Okay. So Dinwiddie here is going to get the ball. You're going to get Cam Thomas. They're going to run a little pick action with Claxton, mind you. Boom. Pull up 3. Right? That's a nice shot. Obviously, some of the shots he's going to take are rough. I mean, he's literally talked about on JJ Redick. He's okay with taking grenades, right? So, boom. Cam Thomas sets this pick. Pushes off of Şengün. Tough shot, right? But he's a tough shot maker. To me, you guys, these are the two dudes you keep. You comfortably sit down and you say, these are the two dudes we are not moving off of. Mikal, Dinwiddie, Royce O'Neal, DFS, Ben Simmons. You all can go. Not that, especially to Mikal, it's not that you've been bad. You've played very good, and your value is never going to get higher than this. Unless, guys, it would take him coming out next year or at the end of this year, averaging like 30 a game and getting his numbers up to like 26 or 27 a game. Okay, sure. Now his value is at the highest. To be honest, I'm giving this team an F. I don't even know if I've given an F before, but this is an F. And you might wonder, why is it an F? So when I was doing my research for this video, I went on Basketball Reference, right? I'm looking through the stats of players, certain things, seeing if there's anything interesting. The first thing, Basketball Reference sometimes do, they'll give you a little news snippet. I see Brooklyn says they're not going into a rebuild and will not be entertaining phone calls for Mikal Bridges with the trade deadline coming on Thursday. What? You're not rebuilding? You guys are literally mid in everything. And you're still 8 games under 500. Being mid. Guys. To me, the worst thing you can see in any sports organization. It isn't teams that try and go for the swing and they miss outright. It's like, that's tough. But sometimes, after a little bit, you look back with some context and you're like, okay, I get it. The worst kind of team is the team that refuses to acknowledge their actual situation. What I mean by that, Brooklyn not understanding they're in a freaking rebuild is insane. do you not acknowledge that? Right? Because even when they started off really good last year, that was back when they had KD, Kyrie. Then, right, they finished strong with Mikal and them. But at that point, you should have known, man. Getting up to that point is already going to be far more difficult than you could imagine. So for me, this gets an F. Because to be honest, you have multiple pieces that I, again, guarantee you could get pick compensation or young player, or you could get some form of compensation. And I don't even know how to feel about Jacques Vaughn. Because my thing with him is like, but what is he supposed to do? Like, this roster, like, to me, when I look at it on paper, it doesn't really mesh at all. This is Amsterdam Knows Hoops. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. This is the Rebuild Report. This team gets an F. Brooklyn, please, bro. I am begging you.